Namaste. This is JV and Dr. Vishal Saxena, Associate Professor in Mathematics in Jayoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today I am going to discuss on the module n into 2 game by sub-game method, and this module of n into 2 by sub-game method is a solution method, is a procedure of finding the solution of n into 2 game by the sub-game procedure, and this module is a part of the course Operation Research under the program of BBA LLB 6th semester and BBA 6th semester of the university. In the today's session we are discussing about the procedure of finding the solution of a game, and a game of the size n into 2 means the first player have the just n strategies, and while the second player will have is having the 2 strategies for the game, and the solution method is by the sub game method. This is a kind of the procedure to solve the game, and as all we know that that n into 2 game or the 2 into n game can be solved by the different procedures in the game theory, like by the graphical method as well, and by the dominance rule, by the subdivision method, by the sub-game method. So in the today's session we will study about this procedure of sub-game method with example of the solution of a game, and we take the size for this game, take the size of the game for the 3 into 2, that means n into 2 game, and we will solve it by the sub-game method. In the sub-game method, the game first the game just is divided into sub-games, and then we determine their values, and then we have to check for the optimality, and then we will find it's the value of the game. So now the complete procedure for the game solving just we are going to demonstrate, and we will explain it with the example. So we take some slides, we share some slides for this, and with these slides with examples we will explain how a game of n into 2 size can be solved. So now we take some slides, and in the initial slide we are given that method of solution of 2 into n and the n into 2 games. So here just we will see that the methods of the solution for these 2 games means with the size of 2 into n and n into 2 games can be solved by the 2 methods of the method of sub games and the graphical method. So these are the 2 methods by which the game can be solved, and in the today's session we are going to discuss about the sub games method to solve a game. So initially we can see one example is shown that here, and this is a game for the 2 players, and the first player is having the 3 strategies 1, 2, 3, while the second player is just having the 2 strategies 1 into 2, and that's why it is called the 3 into 2 game. And now we have to find its a solution by this procedure of sub-game methods. So we take so first of all we will find here in this game we will check it for the saddle point, and now we can see here we can see there the minimum values in the rows. The first minimum is 2, For the second row it is 2, and the third row it is minus of 2. While the maximum values in the column, we have found initially the minimum values in the rows, and now we will check it for the columns. So we will find the maximum values in the columns, not the minimum values. So the maximum value in the first column is 3, and for the second column maximum is 6. So in this way, the maximum value means the maximum value in the minimum values of the rows is 2, while the minimax values means the minimum value from all the maximum values, which is called minimax value, and we can see the minimum value from all the maximum values for the columns is the 3. But 3 and 2 are not same, so saddle point is not existing here, and we can say it is a kind of the game of mixed strategy, because saddle point 3 is not equal to 2, and therefore the game is called with the mixed strategy. And here the V means value, V is greater than or equal to 2 and less than or equal to 3. And one more important thing, when we see that in this game the dominance rule is not applicable here. The dominance rule is not applicable here, so how can we solve the game? And now we see that the initial game is given that here 1, 2, 3 are the 3 strategies for player first, and 1 and 2 are the strategies for the second player. And now we apply the method of sub games for the solution of this game, and we divide this game into sub games. So 3 sub games are possible for this game. The first sub game is 2, 4, 3 and 2 for the strategies 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So this is the first game. The second sub game is 2, 4 and minus 2 and 6. That is taken by the first row and taken by the third row. So taken by the first and the third row, and we can see there this is the game for the strategy 1 and 3 and 1 and 2. While the third sub game is by taking the second and the third row in the initial game, in the main game. So second and third rows are taken here. So 2 and 3 strategies are taken, and 1 and 2 strategies are taken, and the game is for with the entries 3 and 2, minus 2 and 6. 3 and 2, minus 2 and 6. And now we can observe that what are the just values here in this game. In this game the values are just we will find out the values for these 3 games. Means we will find out by the same concept, the saddle point, the minimum and the maximum. So first row minimum is 2, the second row is minimum is 2, the first column maximum is 3, and the second column maximum is 4. And in this way again the saddle point is not existing, therefore V is greater than or equal to 2 and less than or equal to 3 for the first sub game. For the second sub game, just row minimums are 2 and minus 2, while the column maximums are 2 and 6. Therefore this maximum value and the minimax value in this subgame, the second subgame, the maximum value and the minimax value both are same, and that is 2. Therefore the saddle point is existing here, and the game of the value of the game is 2 there for the second subgame. And for the third subgame we can see the row minimum values are 2 and minus 2, while the column maximum values are 3 and 6, and therefore the maximum value is 2 and the minimax value is there 3, and therefore the value means the maximum value which is 2 there and the minimax value which is 3 there, both are not same. Hence this subgame is not having the saddle point, and therefore this game value for this game will be greater than or equal to 2 and less than or equal to 3. And now we will find out the values for all the 3 sub games by the formula, and just with the use of the formula we can just find out the values of the game. And for the first game, for the first sub game, the value is given by 2 into 2 diagonally, minus 3 into 4, and divided by 2 plus 2 diagonally, minus 3 plus 4 diagonally, and that is equal to 8 upon 3, which is equal to 2.66. So that is the value for the first game, sub game. And just we have applied here the formula to find the game. And for the second sub game, the value is given by, just we have seen that in the previous slide, the second sub game is the game with the saddle point, and value is already obtained 2 there. And for the third game, the value can be determined by again the same procedure, by the formula, like 3 into 6 minus 2 into 2 and divided by 3 plus 6 and minus of minus 2 plus 2, and that is equal to 2.44. So these are the values for these sub games, and we can see there the optimum value is 2.66 there. The 2.66 is the optimum value of the game, and therefore hence the second game is the game with the optimum value 2.66 is taken. That is the first game for the 2 strategies 1-2 and 1-2, and we can see there this sub game is is mentioned here for the 2 strategies 1-2 and 1-2, and this is the first sub game, and its value is 2.66. Now next we have to find the strategies here, like x1 upon x2 by the formula, and y1 upon y2 by the formula, and we have to find these strategies. So x1 upon x2 is equal to 2 minus 3 and upon 2 minus 4 is equal to 1 upon 2. So that is x1 upon x2, which is coming here 1 upon 2. And in this way x1 becomes here 1 upon 3, and x2 is equal to 2 upon 3, and x3, because it is not present here in this game, in this sub game, so x3 is taken as 0. x1 is obtained here like 1 upon means numerator upon sum of numerator plus denominator, and x2 is obtained here denominator upon sum of numerator plus denominator. So 1 plus 2, that is 3. That is by the formula, usual formula. And in the same way, the y1 upon y2 y1 upon y2 is given by 2 minus 4 upon 2 minus 3, and this is 2 upon 1, and therefore y1 is equal to 2 upon 3 while y2 is equal to 1 upon 3. So it is 2 upon 3 and 1 upon 3, and here y3 is not there, because y3 is not there because the second player is having only 2 strategies, because in the initial game the size of the game was the initial game is having the size of 3 into 2, and therefore just we have found the values for these x1, x2, x3 and y1 and y2, and the value of the game. In this way just we have found it, and therefore this is the method of sub game, the solution of a game by the sub game method, and is important as well, like or equivalent to the graphical method for the solving of a game. Now students are advised to practice for the solution of the game problems by this sub game method, and take also and prepare also the objective as well as subjective questions. Thank you.